use a new music and Azo computers. What was the name of that song?
That was Maybe It's You.
What's the story behind it?
The lyrics?
Yes.
You know, that song's about,
What's her name?
Bullshit.
it's really about like just relationships in general. And I think that as soon as you get through the honeymoon stage of any relationship, for me, like
Downhill.
Your game face comes off. Your game face comes off, and you start to kind of really reconcile with the reality of who that person is and who you are, and you start to have all these expectations of certain reactions that you kind of expect that person to have. And it's about expectations, and it's about, why aren't you more like me? And when somebody disappoints you, or if you let somebody down, it's like, well, I wouldn't have reacted that way, or I wouldn't have said that. So I think those expectations kind of hold certain standards that I think can create a lot of problems in relationships. So rather than kind of respecting someone for who they are and appreciating that, I think when you bring those expectations to the table, it's probably almost the root of every argument or every fight I've ever gotten into in a relationship. So.
Cool. Well, from listening to your new album, Red Rock Return, I can hear a lot of influences with you guys. I heard a little bit of Smashing Pumpkins, of course. You guys are from Chicago. Tool, Helmet, Coheed and Cambria, maybe some Metallica. Probably a lot of others thrown in there too. As the saying goes, Picasso said, good artists create, great artists steal. What are the traits?
We prefer the term appropriate.
What traits have you taken from your influences and the people that inspired you, and what do you think you do better than them?
Swap.
Do you want to go first? Okay.
Always, but
I like to take some of my favorites, how they approach songs and songwriting in general, and just the little cool things that they do to make a song special. And I try to make every song on a record be special, and taking that and incorporating our own ideas into what that means to us. That's kind of what I take away from our favorites. And
that's almost exactly my answer too. It's pretty much like when we pop in something in the CD player and it just blows our mind because it's original and it's just awesome. That kind of becomes the standard. And whenever we write something, we're like, well, is it as awesome as this, or is it as original as this? And if it's not, then it hits the floor. And then also, if anything anybody ever writes, we're very democratic. If anything anybody ever writes sounds remotely like a guitar part from an influence, or a guitar part from any song, or a vocal melody from any song we've ever heard, it's out the door. So.
Unless we don't realize it. or if it's really good, we just play dumb.
That's what a lot of bands do. It's usually called sampling. Next one we got. A lot of bands out there that are up and coming. Their dream is to be out there on the road, touring, being rock stars every night, playing the clubs. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of hard work. What's the best thing for being on the road for you guys, and what's the worst thing?
The best thing is traveling, for sure. I mean, just seeing the country. At least for him and I, we're the two who drive the most. It's just, stopping in every little hole in the wall, little gas station, whatever. It's exciting to meet new people, to travel this country. It's a great country, man. That's what I love about it.
Have you guys got pulled over yet?
No. I speed all the time.
We got a 7 miles an hour over the speed limit rule.
I thought it was 9.
We don't follow that.
When you get pulled over, you might want to have a CD available just in case.
There you go.
And a wad of cash.
It's tough. The toughest part is taking care of yourself. Like, Case in point. It's insane, yeah. I mean, 2 of us got sick. We've only been on tour for 2 weeks. So, I mean, you're in a van and you're up till 2 every night because you play. You get there at 5 or 6. You load in. Maybe you get a sound check. You have like an hour or 2 before you play, and then you're hanging out for 3 hours, signing stuff, selling stuff, and then you load it then you leave the club at like 2, find a hotel, drive all the next day, and start all over again. Yeah, 2 of us are actually still working day jobs in the van.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody thinks it's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but in the reality, especially when you're a working band, it's kind of more like, being a carny. You show up, you set up to leave.
We actually drove all night to get here.
Yeah.
We played
from Louisiana?
played Baton Rouge
last
night, and
a far
then
one.
started driving, and then 2 of us kind of slept in chairs in the van, and then eventually we pulled over at like 5 in the morning, slept for 3 hours, and then did the rest of the drive.
All right, cool. I got another Another question about your new album, Red Right Return, which is available right now. You guys recorded all the tracks separately, at Ivy Lab Studios there in North Side?
We did just the drums and guitars there. Everything else we did in my studio.
All right. Then you guys took the tracks and then you went mixed and produced and did everything yourself after that. Now there's a lot of bands doing the kind of a similar thing right now. You've got the miracle of Pro Tools and people's home recording studios. It's a lot easier to record nowadays. But a lot of bands are kind of having that problem of once they record it, they don't know what to do with the tracks. Because in the old days, you had to go to a recording studio and there was somebody who had the experience of mixing and putting everything together. What advice would you have to bands that are doing the home recording process? What would you have to say to them so they can get the similar fantastic results that you guys did?
I would say
Google.
Don't do it.
read. I would say go to any guitar center and buy The Art of Mixing. It's a book that totally changed my life. It's got I'm a total scientist when it comes to the recording process, and I think if anybody really wants to control that side of their art, they have to kind of crawl into the science behind it and understand like EQs and which instruments occupy certain frequencies in the spectrum, the audio spectrum, and kind of understanding that, learning that, mastering that, and being able to carve out a mix where everything can kind of own its own space. There's a whole art and science behind it. So the only thing that really helped me was just reading everything I could get my hands on, interviews with really good, amazing mixers like Chris Lord-Alge and really good famous producers and stuff. I just kind of soaked up everything I possibly could.
All right, and sub question, since you guys are kind of making it and you're doing it now, what's your advice to the bands out there that are trying to make it?
Write good songs.
That's the basic.
Good songs.
Write great songs, actually.
The best songs you can possibly make.
Yeah.
That's the backbone of everything.
I think nothing really started to happen for us until we spent a year and just wrote the best songs possible. We kind of and it was hard too. We would write. It was a very democratic process. So I would actually write 10, 15, 20, 30 different choruses for a song. So in some cases, and everyone would vote. And if everyone wasn't 300%, hey, that's the mark, then hit the floor and I'd go back to the drawing board. And it's a long, arduous process. But if you hold the standard that high, the songs are going to come out, that much better. And if the song's really great, then it's going to connect and turn heads. And that's kind of how it works.
So in other words, just don't put out a whole album with one good song and 10 or 11 filler tracks.
Something like that.
All right, let's get to playing another song. You guys want to rock out with another one?
Yeah, this is our last one actually. The only other one that we've got.